Pottycast will hopefully contain words or statements of obscene, pornographic, or immoral character. You have been warned.
We received dozens of emails from people that will listen to the podcast. The podcast.
Wow,
The
well, it is
podcast.
pretty much.
All right, fuck it. 87, bitch.
Damn. That's crazy.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm fucking at. 87.
That
What the
sounds
fuck?
right.
Yeah. Well, I tried to move shit onto an archive disk, and I've got to get a new little archive disk thing because we've got a lot of shit recorded.
Yeah, no. I had to get rid of so much shit off of my computer from the podcast because it was just like every podcast just is gigs and gigs of shit, and it's just like eating my hard drive.
Yeah, and now that we've added, we've had these. Well, I've got 2 weeks worth of ghost hunts on our computer, and I'm getting ready to add a third. Yeah, it's fucking like my space went from
Oh yeah, all the audio files and stuff.
300 gigs. I think I'm down to like 80 or 68 gigs, which is
Damn.
nuts. Yeah, but
Maybe like 2 or 3 months, I do like a pretty good cleanup and rearrange of my hard drive just to like get shit backed up onto an external drive and just like keep it cleaned up. But I was in really good shape about 3 weeks ago, and then a lot of the stuff I've been doing the last couple weeks is just like it's already fucking filling back up. I'm like, Jesus, man, it's insane.
it is fucking brutal. Like I don't even know. Not saying we're not a real podcast, but like people that have, like, I listened to one. They're up to like 1,078 episodes. What the fuck do you do with all that audio? And I could not throw away that. Just my mentality,
Yeah.
like I can't throw it away because I never know if we're ever going to need to like dive back and look
Yeah.
for something. And it's just like I save, like everybody gives a fuck. It's like I save the MP3s of the final episodes on the laptop just in case. And then I like just dump stuff onto a whatever hard drive, a plug-in hard drive. I'm external. Thank you. But it's like the external's like, dude, I'm running out of room. And I'm trying to actually, for you morons that listen to us on YouTube, I'm slowly, which is fucking dreadful, trying to export out our early stuff onto YouTube because not all of the podcasts have they're not all on YouTube. Like it's very finicky which episodes go over and what doesn't from Podbean to YouTube.
Weird.
So yeah, it's really fucking weird. Like I haven't figured it out. So the early ones, like they're not trying at all. So I have to actually like throw them on a timeline and export. So I only got 2 up now, but I'm hoping to get back in the mode after I get caught up on the old ghost hunting crapahula, which
That's
we
cool.
are majorly behind on in podcast. We're going to have like a fucking just not purge, but just a delivery upon delivery upon delivery. Cause I've got so much shit and most of the places have been pretty fucking cool. So stoked.
Yeah, I have an external hard drive that I bought, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer. I think it's a one terabyte, which is actually kind of small now, I think, but I filled that thing up, finally maxed it out like a couple weeks ago. Like can't put anything else on it, but I have a second external hard drive just since we're talking about all this shit and like geek out for a minute. But so I have the 1 terabyte here at the house that I would always use to back up my computer to. And I actually have, this is how nerdy I am. I have an off-site backup hard drive.
What?
That
oh my God.
Yeah, that I actually, so the backup hard drive that's here at the house, like every time I do one of these 3 or 4 month major cleanups of the computer, I will get my off-site external hard drive, bring to the house, and I will everything that I backed up from my computer to my house backup hard drive, I also back it up to my off-site backup hard drive and take it back to the off-site location.
Oh my God, that is fucking nuts. Yeah, I'm not that. I've thought about like getting like just a cloud backup, but I can't commit to it. I think
I've heard too many things about people losing shit on cloud stuff though. It fucking scares me.
Well, it scares me. Yeah, let's just keep going nerdopolis here for a little bit. Is somehow I am the impromptu IT guy at the office, and Fred is my lifeline when shit goes fucking horribly wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a service that we pay for, but those dudes, it's like it's a service and they're cool when shit goes horribly awry, but every discussion starts from block 1, and it's like, no dude, I'm already at step 40. I don't need to start the fuck back over at block 1 to get you caught up. So I'll reach out to Fred or something and get it to the point where I can get shit going. But the whole point of this is we started backing up our hard drive with a different company versus Amazon, because Amazon is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And so our physical hard drives, if you look at the space right now, it says it's taken up about 7 gigs worth of shit. When we upload it and back it up to the cloud, the shit is 1.2 gigs or something like that. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I like checked against the Amazon and it looks right. Like, so it's like there's like major fucking compression going on somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like they have some way of like compressing everything down or something.
And it scares the fuck out of me. That
it's like basically they're converting all of your critical work files into like the equivalent of MP3s, waves to MP3s. So it's like if you get everything back in just that format, like all the colors are fucking wrong and shit.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm hyper leery of it. I mean, I run an independent backup of my work drive at my house of the projects I work on.
Yeah, that's smart.
I mean, I work off of that, but it's also a backup when shit goes awry. Because even though you run RAID drives, we've had 2 of the 4 go down within a day of each other.
Yeah.
And there's some scary shit.
Dude, I tell you, I may have said this on here before if we've talked about computer nerd shit, but to this day, I still will say that one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given was one of my computer classes I had in college, but this was a long time ago at this point. This was like probably 96, 97.
Don't have sex with relatives.
What's that?
I said, don't have sex with relatives.
Well, that was probably not said in this class, but that is good advice. But no, she was just like very adamant about making sure it got ingrained into everybody's head about saving as you're like working. Like,
dude,
she was like, honestly, you can never be saving enough. Like, basically get it in your head that every like 10 or 15 minutes or anytime you've done a critical series of movements that would kind of suck to have to replicate, just like always be thinking about saving. Just get your left hand used to the motion of saving on your keyboard. And she like told this story about one of her students who like lost an entire project because of like not save, or I don't know, like they had worked for like a really long time and like weren't saving it correctly and like the disk got corrupted or something. So anyway, I don't that just always really stuck with me for some reason. And like luckily throughout my career of doing computer work, I've only really been seriously burned like a very small amount of times, and I think it's because I've always been really good about listening to that advice and always being really anal about saving. And that just led into me also being super anal about like doing backups and shit.
I think I run into it like probably once every 6 months. I'll just get fucking torched. Luckily, like Adobe they've started. I guess they've accepted the fact that their product's unstable, and so they have it auto backs up every so many minutes on its own, whether you tell it to or not.
Yeah.
So there's a recovery file, but usually it's right before whatever craziness you did to get it there to make it cool. It's usually like right before that happened. So you have to go back and
Yes. Any recovery file I've ever tried to use, it's like, yeah, it's missing the exact thing I'm like trying to recover back.
exactly. Yeah. I'm a master of save a copy, save a copy. I have multiple copies of shit. I'm like, I don't need that, but I'll save it. Even trying to change my workflow, it's just like it's because I'm old, and when we started, it didn't have auto backups, and you couldn't get back to somewhere before you left it. So before you like ended it. So I usually had like an A and B copy, and I would go so long, and I'd save to a B copy, work
Yeah.
on the B, then come back and save to the A. So there was always like a ladder, almost a progression that I could go to and get back to. I mean, now like Photoshop is a lot smarter. You can use smart objects and shit, which I'm still trying to learn to do proficiently, because that shit makes your files big. That is definitely the downfall of that shit, is it
Yeah.
makes the files fucking huge. But there's benefits, so it's all fuck it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Magic. I still hate Adobe.
It's funny talking about Adobe. And like getting burned by not saving. I almost had my first major like not saving fuck up a couple days ago in a really long time. I was working on some artwork, and you know how it is. Like sometimes you like get in the groove and you're just like you're not sure exactly what you're doing for this one thing, and then all of a sudden it clicks and you're like, oh cool, and then you just start like hammering it out and you're like listening to music and you're just flowing and everything's like
Absolutely.
going cool. And I had probably been doing stuff for maybe like a half hour, and I was working really fast because I was into it. So I had done a lot of stuff, and I hadn't saved. And I was like, okay, fucking biggest mistake. I was just sitting here talking about how I'm like really good about saving. But then in this one instance, I was like, I'm going to do this one last move because I was like just clicky, 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 and then I'll save. Well, I was clicking off of something, and I clicked on the brush because I was gonna like I had to like fill this little area of color in, and then I was gonna save. So I go over and click the brush tool, and I move my mouse down to fill in this little space, and I realized that when I clicked on the brush tool, it was still set to this setting I had used like a while back, and it was this giant like texture brush that was like at like 600 pixels big. And as soon as I selected that, it was like instant beach ball.
Oh my god,
And
that's
I was like,
awesome.
what the fuck? I was like, why did I get a beach ball? All I did was just fucking click on the fucking brush tool. And it was like spinning, and I was doing the whole like fucking mouse shake, like, okay, like it's fine. And it would not stop. And I realized that brush was in there, and I was like, dude, it just like eating the fucking memory trying to like load
Oh
this
yeah,
brush.
yeah.
So it kept spinning. I was like, okay, I'll let it go for like a couple seconds. And it was like 10 seconds. And it was like 20 seconds. And it was like 30 seconds. I started getting fucking scared. So I was like, okay. And I know
That's when I get up and go piss and
yeah,
just
well,
hope that when I come back that it's gonna be all good.
I know. So I did like a command escape. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do like a little like mini force quit here and just like step away. So I think I got up and got a drink and came back, and it was still spinning.
Oh,
I was like, fuck. And then I don't know. It was probably like a minute and a half went by, and then it finally like stopped. And then as soon as it fucking stopped, I immediately was like, Command S.
yes, totally do that. Oh my god. So we're still not ready to do the lineup yet for the shows. I'm sidetracking, bringing it back around for, I guess, for people who give a fuck. Uh, but I think I've landed our final band for our last show on the 17th. So I'm
Cool.
talking to them. We tried to get the magnificent Voodoo Love Guides, but they couldn't make their schedules work out. So I've reached out to another set of guys that are local, or at least, Martinsburg, Frederick, not that far apart.
Yeah,
you know.
that's
So
cool.
so hopefully that pans out and we'll be able to release the lineups. Release the lineup. Dude, I think I gotta be honest. Yeah, I was super stoked about the 7th or 16th lineup. The 9th might be badass too. It might be super badass, like
That's cool.
because it's a bunch of bands we haven't played with. So it'll be like the 16th is a comfort show because most of the bands we know and have played with.
Yeah.
Like the 9th is a couple bands we haven't played with. One's like old school Baltimore punk that Fred was all tight with back in the day, and they've started playing again. So that should be really cool.
Oh, cool.
And then it's some band, and I just listened to them the other day, and they're really cool. Like I said, maybe next week. Like I said, want to get this shit hammered out and be accurate when I say shit, so that
Yeah.
I'm not lying to y'all. But I think it's going to be a badass run for us.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
And that other band that you're in that can't get their fucking lyrics straight.
Well, that other band that I'm in, speaking of, since we're talking about shows, I don't know anything officially, but anyone who is planning on going to that Savage Mountain Punk Fest for the Bomb Threat show, I would probably recommend getting tickets sooner than later. I don't know how close that place is to selling out, but just based on the amount of people I personally know who told me they have already gotten tickets, like I wouldn't sleep on it because I don't know. I just want people, anyone who's listening, this isn't like a show that like you would be normally, like a Bomb Threat show you would be normally used to seeing back at like the 180 Club where people just roll up and get in. Like this is actually kind of like a quote unquote like real show with like tickets and could sell out. So if you don't have tickets, I don't think you're getting in. So
You
just keep
guys are
that in
playing
mind.
with DOA's playing, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind
That's
of
pretty
like
cool.
a real, like I said, I use real show lightly, but yeah, this isn't like the good old days of rolling up to the 180 Club and just sneaking in through the back if you don't want to pay or whatever. This is like,
I don't know anybody who had done that. And that's fucking horrible that people would do that.
yeah, whatever. I never gave a fuck about that. I was just stoked people came out, but yeah, it's just this isn't going to be one of those shows. So just wanted to throw that out there. If you are thinking about going, I wouldn't sleep on getting those tickets.
You know what? I think I know. Look, I I think the worst thing about running the fucking shows, even now, is somebody working the door. Like that shit sucks, especially at the fucking Shamrock, because you
Mhm.
can't, like at the old, like the Grange Hall shows and shit like that, you could sit at the door and still watch the bands, so you weren't missing anything.
Yeah.
You just were allowed to be dicks to everybody who came through. But now at the Shamrock, like that shit S's back. So if you're working a door, like
Mhm.
I missed like the eco death. I was so stoked when we went to Frostburg, and the fact that those guys up there, the barbed wire necktie guys, I think Jamie ran the door most of the night. Dude, that was fucking awesome. I'm like, I got to
Yeah.
watch the bands because we played with everybody, but didn't get to see anybody.
Yeah.
Well, by the time Stitch was played, I didn't give a fuck. And I was like, the door's open. Let's go. Once you get hit with the Cash App thing, I was done.
Oh, I
Like,
know.
what the
Yeah.
fuck do you mean Cash App?
Yeah. Exactly. Like what are you talking about?
It's $5 person. Really?
Um I wanted, since we're talking about the shows and stuff, I wanted to ask, I saw you made that post about um cooking healthy and eating healthy to get in shape for the shows, and I was you added Gavin, so I was wondering if like did he like challenge you to some kind of challenge about eating good for the shows?
Yeah, well, he said it was kind of like a challenge. And I was like, no, you fuckers. I was like, June 1st, I am back to working out because I don't want to die on stage, physically, mentally, or like for reals die.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just run out of energy and
Yeah.
go,
Like literally die.
yeah, like literally die. That'd be fucking cool though if it looked like fucking Alien and I had the face or the little chest things explode out of me. That'd be badass. Well, that'd be worth it. We'd be famous then.
I just want to say this right now is that the only greatness Bomb Threat could potentially have at that Savage Mountain Punk Fest show is all because of riding the coattails of the energy of the Craven Warheads.
Oh my God. You like to fuck with those guys. I hate you for that.
Oh no, well, so there's like you're on one of the text chains, but there's a separate one too, talking about
I would hope so. Yeah.
everyone's all like, are stoked on playing and all that kind of shit. But yeah, and like everyone's like, oh yeah, we're gonna fucking bring it and all this shit. And I'm just like I'm stoked that everybody's mentality is they're gonna bring it. They're planning on bringing it, but I'm just like, I don't know what everyone's cardio routines are in their private life, but you learned firsthand about you just don't get on stage and just start doing this again.
No. And even trying to hype yourself up at practice, dude, it's just a fucking different ball game. I mean, the first, second song, I was like, we can cut this set short at any time. Because it was like, but once again, dude, it was the crowd. Because the crowd was like, everybody was so hyped. And then fucking, it was like, they fed off that energy, but it was like so much. And I was like, fuck, I don't have that anymore. So definitely the second night, much better. I was in, I got it. But I'm hoping that shit conveys from fucking last year to this year.
Those guys better be on their fucking Pelotons the next 2 months. That's all I have to say.
They could be on the Fred regiment and walk up and down the stairs with your bass.
Yeah.
To keep that fucking cardio up.
It's funny we're talking about all this too, because I'm planning on spending my afternoon today. I'm here at the house by myself, and I was gonna play all of our songs all afternoon, both bands, just have a little practice afternoon, and yeah, just keep the chops going and stuff. But yeah, I know we're just like fucking around and stuff, but like I think that show's going to be sick. I think all the shows are going to be sick, but I have total faith in those guys.
I went from like leery of like a couple of, not leery, but just like worried about the Shamrock to now I'm fucking stoked on the Shamrock show, which I should have been stoked anyway. But I think this lineup's going to be fucking badass. And then I like that whole shit in Martinsburg's coming together, and that's fucking awesome. So I'm stoked the whole way around. We were supposed to do a record review. We're gonna miss it this time.
Yeah.
I've listened to it 3 times. Should we save it?
Don't say anything. If we can't talk about it, then don't say anything.
No, I do want to say initially I did want to fucking throat punch you because it got under my skin initially. But now third time through as a listener.
Oh, like you were like not feeling it at first.
I was not, yeah. And it could have been I was in a shitty mood at work too. So
gotcha. Well, okay. I don't even want to talk.
We're gonna drop it there. I apologize, everybody, but it's a holiday weekend and we committed. And I forgot to let Jonathan know that we were only doing Ghost Hunt for a little bit this weekend, which was awesome. I'm hoping there's some cool shit that happened there. Like there's lots of like shit happening on devices and stuff, but I'm a big fan of actually getting like whispers and shit like that. So
yeah, it's cool.
That part stokes me.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing what you guys got on your podcast.
Yeah, it's coming. We're so far behind, but dude, I just did. I'm not even lying to you. We'll cut it 7 hours of fucking audio review.
Jesus.
Oh my God. Some of it was really good and then it petered out. But anyway.
Cool.
Have a good did you hear that? Have a good holiday, people.
Yeah, well, by the time they hear this, they would hopefully have had a good holiday.
Yeah, hope you had a good holiday. Happy Tuesday morning.
Yeah. Have a good week.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. Adios, motherfuckers.
Later.
This podcast was brought to you by Potty Mouth Records. Contact us at pottymouthrecords@gmail.com and find us on the web at pottymouthrecords.rocks. That's .ROCKS.
That was way better than I expected.
POTTYCAST podcast.
Oh my god, we're talking over the podcast.
Moment of weakness for me.
Yeah. Oh my
It's
god,
all
I
that
don't even
giant
wanna know.
heart
Now I'm
in
gonna have
there,
to listen
right?
to the fucking
The giant heart. Yep.
Yeah.
Giant heart and the big brain.
Dude,
wow.
what? Fuck you
Can't wait
guys.
to listen to this
And now I'm
back.
gonna have to fucking listen to it just to hear about the fucking smart ass shit that was just said.
Oh, it's great.
All right, you go away, woman.